Joining us right now, Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. And Senator Hutchison, welcome back to Houston's Morning News. Great to have you.
Oh, good morning. I'm so glad you're at Johnson today. What a day of history.
You know, Senator, as I was coming in today, I think about Congressman Pete Olson, who we talked to earlier, and I think about you as well. This program, this facility, means so much to you, near and dear to your heart. What are you feeling today? Did you watch Atlantis come down?
I did. I watched it. It was a very emotional time because, of course, I grew up in Lamarck, Galveston County, and watched NASA come. I covered it as a television news reporter for Houston, the first launches. And so the idea, of course, that we wouldn't have a follow-on to announce immediately is very troubling to me, and I am fighting very hard right now to assure that we do have that next launch vehicle that will take our astronauts beyond low Earth orbit. I mean, that's the next horizon.
Right. Senator Hutchison, I just talked to Shane Kimbrough. He's an astronaut here at Johnson Space Center. He had gone up in Endeavour a couple of years ago, and he says, Lois asked him a question about the future of NASA, and he said he wanted people to know that this may be the end of the Space Shuttle program, but certainly not the end of NASA. And I think he feels, or at least the impression that I got was he feels many people think that this is the end of NASA altogether.
Well, you know, the administration originally announced that we were going all private, and that's when I worked with Senator Bill Nelson from Florida to put together a hybrid plan, if you will, that will assure that we have NASA in charge of building the next vehicle, but also with private sector companies coming in and building the vehicles that will be the beginning of the next tranche. I mean, we're first going to go up without people, and then we will be able to take people up, hopefully, by 2017 or 18.
We are joined this morning live at Johnson Space Center by U.S. Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. And Senator Hutchison, if you would hang on just 1 second, I want to come back and I got to talk budget battle. I got to talk debt ceiling with you. I got to get your thoughts on the Gang of Six. All of that coming up. Ground control to Major Tom. Boy, it brings it all home as you sit here at the Johnson Space Center and take a look at the mock-ups where the astronauts train. And joining us this morning, United States Senator from Texas, Kay Bailey Hutchison. Senator Hutchison, welcome back to Houston's Morning News. All right, Senator, let's talk about the Gang of Six. Let's talk about the plan that the president seems to be all tickled about. I'm not so tickled about the tax increases. What about you?
Well, the whole purpose of the Gang of Six proposal is not to have tax increases, to have it not be tax increases, but revenue increases by having a fairer system. And of course, when you put out a draft and you don't have the legislative language, you don't know exactly what's in it. But we don't want the Bush tax cuts to go out and then have the other tax cuts come in if it's not a lower tax situation. And that's what we have to look at.
I was listening to Senator Crapo talking about this, and as it sits right now, isn't that what we're looking at here? The Bush tax cuts going out, and the money, the revenues coming in from the fact that those will be eliminated, and we're not really exactly sure what kind of breaks we're going to get, except a whole new tax structure, which to me sounds like wow, that's going to take a lot of work to get that in place.
Well, that's correct. But what I would hope would come out of the tax proposal in there is that you would have the lower tax rates, which they do. The highest rate would be 29%. The lowest would be 8 or 9%. So it would be a simpler system. But the catch that we've got to fix that is, if the Bush tax cuts go out, you've got to fix the capital gains and dividends, because you want to encourage savings in our country. You have to have that lower capital gains and dividends rate of 15% or less to encourage the savings that are so important. So lowering the rate overall is a good thing, which the Gang of Six does. But then you've got to come in and make sure that you have an even lower level for savings, because that should be one of the policies of our country, to encourage savings.
Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison joining us here this morning live at Johnson Space Center. Senator, thank you so much for your time. We sure appreciate it.